Have you ever caught yourself completely frozen mid-sentence, just second-guessing whether you should say I do or I am doing? If so, you are absolutely in the right place. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking a little journey. We're going to start with those safe, rigid rules that basically govern beginner English. And we're going to level up, all the way to the subtle, native-level nuances of perspective. It's kind of like unlocking the matrix of the English language. So let's dive right into this masterclass on simple versus continuous tenses.
Here is our game plan for today. First up, we'll cover the golden rule. Then we'll look at when past actions collide. After that, we'll tackle the ultimate exception. And finally, we'll wrap things up with perspective and the future.
All right, let's kick things off with part 1, the golden rule. So, the English language essentially splits into two totally distinct worlds. On one side, you have your simple tenses. You can think of the simple tense as your rock. It's solid. It handles unchanging facts, your daily habits, and permanent situations. For instance, I drink coffee every morning. That's a reliable habit. Or water boils at 100 degrees. Undeniable scientific fact, right? Now, on the flip side, we have the continuous tenses. Those verbs ending in ing. This is a world of pure motion. Continuous focuses on actions that are in progress, things that are temporary or happening right at this exact fleeting second. I am drinking coffee right now literally means the mug is currently in my hand. Or, please be quiet, the baby is sleeping. It's happening right now, but, well, it certainly won't last forever. Now, what if I told you there are literal cheat codes built right into the language to make this even easier? Because there totally are. There are clue words that instantly tell you which tense to use in real-time conversations. For the simple tense, just look for words that imply repetition, things like always, usually, often, sometimes, never, or every day. Spot one of those, you're almost certainly in simple territory. But if you hear words that ground you in the immediate present like now, right now, at the moment, currently, or even commands that force you to pay attention to the present moment like look or listen, boom, that is your continuous cheat code.
Okay, let's put this into practice immediately. I'm going to challenge you directly right now. Use the cheat codes we just talked about to solve these 3 sentences. Number 1, she reads or is reading right now. Number 2, they usually eat or are eating. And number 3, look, the bus comes or is coming. Take a quick mental snapshot of your answers. Got them?
All right, let's see how you did. For number 1, it's absolutely is reading, because our massive clue there is right now. For number 2, it's eat, because the word usually points to a habit, which means present simple. And for number 3, it's is coming, because that command, look, means the action is literally unfolding right in front of us. The huge takeaway here is that by simply scanning for these clue words, you can instantly nail the grammar without even having to stop and overthink the rules. Moving right along to section 2, when past actions collide.
This is where things get really fascinating. When we start telling stories about the past, we actually see how simple and continuous tenses work together as this perfectly coordinated team. Just imagine a timeline in your head. The past continuous acts as your background scene. It's the long action that was already happily in progress. Then, completely out of nowhere, it gets interrupted by a short, sudden event. And that interruption is always the past simple. For example, I was watching TV. There's your long, continuous background flow when the power went out. Boom, a short, simple interruption. Or think of it like this. While she was walking to school, she found $1. The walking was a continuous, ongoing process, right? But finding that $1, that was a split-second event.
Okay, getting into part 3 now, the ultimate exception. Of course, no language is without its rule breakers. And this one is probably the biggest hurdle you'll face at the intermediate level. Say hello to the stative verb. This is a concept that completely rebels against all those continuous rules we just laid out. Remember how we just said continuous tenses are for things happening right now? Well, stative verbs simply refuse to play that game. A stative verb describes a state of being, a thought, an emotion, or possession. Basically, anything that is not a physical, visible action. Because they aren't physical actions, they are almost never used with an ing ending, even if you are intensely feeling or thinking that thing at this exact passing second. To really see this rebellion in action, let's look at thoughts and opinions. Words like know, believe, or understand. You absolutely must say, I understand the lesson. You literally cannot say, I am understanding the lesson. Even if that wave of comprehension is washing over your brain right at this moment, it doesn't matter. It's the same deal for emotions like love, hate, want, or need. It is always I want a coffee, never I am wanting a coffee. And for possession, words like have, own, or belong. You say she has a car,
You definitely don't say, she is having a car. These verbs represent states, not moving physical processes, which is exactly why they fundamentally reject the continuous form.
Finally, let's hit section 4, perspective and the future. All right, we have arrived at the advanced level. This is where you graduate from just learning English rules to truly speaking the language. At this stage, true mastery is no longer about strict time rules. It's actually about your personal perspective. Native speakers will actively switch tenses just to show you how they personally view their own reality. If a situation feels permanent to the speaker, they'll use the simple tense. I live in London means this is it. This is my permanent home. My roots are planted here. He works at the bank implies this is his stable, long-term career. But if the speaker views the exact same situation as temporary, they switch to continuous. I am living in London instantly signals, hey, I'm just here for a few months and then I'm out. He is working at the bank means it's just a summer gig until he finds something better. The grammar literally bends based on how the speaker feels about the timeline. How wild is that?
And man, this gets even better when we bring emotions into it, specifically annoyance. Earlier, we established that the word always is a total cheat code for the present simple tense, used for facts and habits. So, as a totally neutral fact, you would say, he always asks questions. Totally fine, right? He's just a curious guy. But if you deliberately pair always with a continuous tense, it completely transforms the sentence from a simple fact into an emotional complaint. Suddenly, it becomes, he is always asking questions. Do you hear the difference there? By intentionally breaking that basic grammar rule, the speaker injects a ton of heavy emphasis and frustration, basically letting you know that this habit is driving them absolutely crazy.
This crazy power perspective also completely changes how we talk about the future. Think about future simple versus future continuous. Future simple, using will plus a verb, is fantastic for sudden decisions or promises. I will call you at 8 p.m. Boom, it's a fixed point on a map. But the future continuous, using will be plus an ing verb, is used to mentally project yourself into the future to see an action that is already in progress. I will be driving at 8 p.m., so I can't answer the phone. By choosing the continuous tense here, you are telling the listener, look, the driving is going to start before 8, it's going to be fully happening right at 8, and it's going to continue after 8. You aren't just stating a dry fact, you are literally painting a vivid picture of your future reality. And honestly, that brings us to the absolute most important takeaway of this whole explainer. Grammar, once you get to the highest level, is not just some rigid set of rules you're forced to memorize. It is a powerful tool for perspective. Knowing how to choose between simple and continuous gives you this incredible ability to sound natural, to express your subtle emotions, to complain with a bit of dramatic flair, and to clearly distinguish your permanent roots from just temporary passing moments. It's the literal lens through which you share your reality with everyone else. So, as you go out and use these tenses, the real question isn't just about grammar anymore. The question is, how do you choose to view your world?